Welcome to Writer's Life, an ongoing conversation with writers, authors, and folks in the publishing industry. I'm your host, Marvel Harrison, Publishing Director, Mimbres Press of Western New Mexico University. It is a pleasure to share a conversation today with Ted Presler, who has lived in Silver City, New Mexico for over a decade, having spent 25 years in Tucson in an international business career in sales and marketing, and serving as president of an American subsidiary of a multinational corporation headquartered in Kuala Lumpur. Ted graduated from Colgate University, earned an MBA in international business from Fordham University, and upon retirement, Ted came to Silver City for 2 days, fell in love with the community, and never left. He is an avid reader of the printed word, dabbles in haiku, is a published poet, and a member of the Hemingway Society. He has also graciously served as co-chair of the Southwest Word Fiesta. Welcome to Writer's Life, Ted.
Thank you very much, Marvel. It's great to be here with you.
Well,
in the world of writing.
Well, you have made an amazing transition from being in a international business career to focusing in on the written word. Not that that isn't a part of your past also, but tell us about how you transitioned into your haiku world and your poetry and coordinating that festival.
Well, I can go back to my business career, having lived on a rubber plantation in Malaysia. You know, back those days, we didn't have too many TV channels or TV at all. We had a country club that we played tennis at and had a few beers and celebrated. Well, it gave us time to pick up a book, reflect. I was pleased to be able to sit in a chair that Somerset Maugham sat in and drank tea way back when. So reading and being, of course, in the international flying world, you read on the planes. So reading has always been part of my life, whether it was in college, business career, and even now. And well, haiku, I transitioned from being a poet per se, and I actually found haiku to be quite relaxing and therapeutic. I mean, one can sit, do 5, 7, 5, and do a dozen in a few minutes. It's a very nice experience. In fact, as we're talking, my brain is telling me we need to put a haiku section on our website. I hadn't thought about it, actually. So we will see.
Yeah, and maybe a haiku section with some prompts and see what shows up from your readership.
Right. Well, someone's already recommended that we have a 100-word contest. With the not only the youth here, but the adults in the community, and see what we can come up with. So
right. Well, I think that's interesting. I think it's a challenge. You talk about haiku being relaxing. I think it's a real challenge to say more with less words.
Interesting.
And I think about, I think it was Woodrow Wilson who wrote a letter to the president at one point saying, "Dear Mr. President, I apologize for writing such a long letter. I didn't have time to write a short one." And that's a paraphrase, of course, but you know, to really choose your words and have meaning, I think is a beautiful skill set.
Well, I have a quick story to tell you about writing, transitioning from college to the military. My first job was with a chemical company, and my boss, who was in charge of sales in this particular division, we had a new product he wanted me to write about and introduce to new prospective customers. So I sat and wrote this beautiful 2.5-page letter about the company and the product, and I turned it in. Well, it didn't take long for him to call me in his office and said, "Ted, you have 15 seconds to convince the reader he wants to continue reading. I want a 1-page letter. That's it." Marvel, to me, that destroyed my writing career. I became a business writer. Right to the point, none of this superfluous verbiage. So I'm glad to be back out of that world.
Oh, good. Well, tell us about the Hemingway Society.
Well, I minored in Russian studies at Colgate, and I was in the process of reading Tolstoy, of course, War and Peace. I was in the cafeteria drinking some coffee one day, and one of my fraternity brothers came by, and he had a book by some guy named Ernest Hemingway. And so I happened to borrow it in between my chapters of War and Peace. And suddenly I fell in love with this particular author who wrote simply and directly and had his iceberg theory, which I learned about later, leaving it up to the reader to put the rest of the story into your brain. So I've been fascinated by Ernest Hemingway for many years. We know his tough life that he had, but I just enjoy rereading each one of his books. And that's why I joined the Hemingway Society. And I just learned just a few minutes ago that a member of the Hemingway Society is talking in Silver City at WNMU this week.
Well, fantastic.
So I think I will be there.
I think you will be. Oh, wonderful. I think that actually is a beautiful segue into, Western New Mexico University is just doing some very remarkable things. I mean, Silver City's a small town in the middle of the Gila wilderness. I mean, it feels to some people like it's in the middle of nowhere, which makes it so appealing to me. And I think that part about how the world can come to you is quite remarkable. And I would say that, Dr. Joe Shepard has done a remarkable job of creating an expanse of what can happen. And just even the support of Mimbres Press, I think a university press is really about infrastructure of ideas, of concepts. And so lucky me, I get to be a part of that.
Well, we're glad to have you, no question. And Dr. Shepard has been a great supporter of our festival from the very beginning.
Yes.
So, and he says he'll continue to do that.
I
want to just mention this, by the way, the transition of where we were as an initial festival was a local gathering of authors and some couple of professors who said, we have all this talent, let's have a book festival. And this was in 2010. And I happened to come in, a few weeks later and then join the group. But it was a hometown book festival. Maybe we would have 25 or 30 people in an in-person event. And we had, let's say, 30 authors delivering and was happy. The problem was we had to have 40 volunteers to make that work. And that is, even today, a difficult thing to pull. We also had to bring authors in, and we had lots of expenses, more than we anticipated. But pandemic hits. What do we do, guys? Do we not have a festival? Do we try in person? What are we going to do? Well, we decided to go hybrid. So we put our brains together, and our publicity team, we sat down and we sent messages all over the United States to bookstores, universities, writers, and so forth, as many as we could get. And all of a sudden, at the end of the day, we ended up having participants from 23 states. And what really blew my mind, 7 countries. Would you believe Australia, Argentina, India, Germany, Ireland, England? I mean, and it occurred to us, we have something here that we can really engage not only Silver City or Grant County or New Mexico. How about going beyond that? Let's take the planet and see what we can do.
Well, congratulations on that success. And of course, that's that part about the the pearl out of a peril, right? With the pandemic. I mean, it really forced to spawn this new hybrid system where you can have guests from all those different countries speaking also.
That's right. That's right. And we're bilingual, which is the first time. In fact, I was just engaged with one of our vice presidents at WNMU, trying to start a plan to engage the 5 universities that we already have a relationship with in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? Not only engage with them, but both ways. I know they have writers there that are written in Spanish, of course. But why not bring them to us? We'll have it translated. Let's have this connection.
I think that's terrific. And the world is maybe short of a sense of belonging and connection. So thank you for creating a spot for people, a place for people to join.
We certainly hope so. And speaking of connections, I have to put the plug in, of course. October 2023 is our 10th anniversary. Our theme, we are all connected.
Ah, terrific.
And then I can't take the credit for that, or none of us here can. It happened to be a lunch that I had with a UTEP professor, and I threw out some ideas about a theme, and he said, nah, how about we're all connected? We just love it. So that's what we're gonna concentrate on for putting together October 2023.
Well, we'll be excited to, have another interview with you or other leadership within your organization prior to that to help spread the word, because that festival your fiesta is fantastic.
Well, thank you. It's not only October 2023, but we hope to do what we call prologue events. For example, Nina Berlo is going to give a couple of talks for us. And we have other ideas in mind, a session on meditation, several sessions on journalism, not only here, nationally and internationally, we hope. So we've got all kinds of interesting activity to lead us to we're all connected.
Well, and having Nina there on campus as a guest, Nina Burley is just really a remarkable journalist, has, dug deep all over the globe on lots of very exciting topics besides her writing, her own personal writing. And I think that's a wonderful way to go in terms of getting people on board.
Right, we think so too. I had a coffee session with the head of our Silver City Museum, and I was talking about Nina, and I showed him her bio, and his eyes went down to all the books that she'd written. She said, "The founding of the Smithsonian? You got to be kidding." Perfect. So she's going to give a talk on the founding of the Smithsonian. What a great topic.
Right. And all the way through her most recent book, pardon me, it's not a novel. She's writing a novel now, but, it's a terrific forum. And again, Western New Mexico University has brought her to town. She's the chair of Mimbres Press advisory board. So we're very fortunate to have that kind of guidance and input from people. And she has been a really interesting person around getting podcasts or, having us reach out to people who do podcasts. And are you interested? Do you have any part of your worldview using podcasts?
Well, we have podcasts on our website right now.
Okay.
Going quickly back to Hemingway, the Hemingway Society has a podcast called One True Statement. That comes from Ernie's idea of you must write one true statement in anything you write. And so the group, there's 3 guys, 1 girl who deal with this podcast, and it's on our website. They have 72 episodes, interviews with various aspects of culture, writers, authors, whatever, talking about what is the one true statement. What is your one true statement? just incredible, incredible. So, yes. And we also have a podcast from this professor I mentioned from UTEP. It's called WOW, WOW, Words on a Wire. And he does, Daniel Chacon is his name, does interviews with various aspects, writing, painting, all kinds of art. That's on our website. We have the University of Arizona has one of the best poetry centers in the country, maybe you could say the world. They're on our website. And Marvel, most of the things you see on our website, there's an agenda attached to it. Why? Tucson, El Paso, West Texas. Colorado is going to be next also. To try to draw people from those areas onto our website to this little town called Silver City.
You know, Ted, I'm hearing a piece of your past that is guiding some of the forward movement here. You know, your sales and marketing, and really making it a beautiful part of the fiesta of what you have to offer on your website. I mean, I think it's terrific. And I think sometimes the arts miss the part of talent that comes from being able to spread the word.
I agree wholeheartedly. My company that I worked for had 25,000 employees out of Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. We had representatives when it was English. We had representatives from 38 countries. And talk about a connection. A connection was required to put all of us together. Christians, Muslims, Hindi, and the list went on. It was an incredible experience. From my side, since I was raised in a town of 2,000 in the Adirondacks of New York State.
And I was raised in a town of 2,000 in southern Alberta in Canada. And, you know, the ability for people like us to choose where we live is pretty remarkable. And I think that that's a reflection of our privilege. And I think that part about how you're incorporating and reaching out across the borders and to people who maybe don't have the same opportunities to physically be somewhere, but to be able to be emotionally and intellectually stimulated by what you have to offer is a real gift.
Thank you very much. And we're continuing to add to our website every week, by the way. The last website served us very well for 9 years, but to me, it was more of a monument, a testimony to what we had accomplished. This is an active website. We have a forum on that where people can exchange ideas. We're planning to have one member of our steering committee handle all that. Subjects like, what's your favorite book? Who's your favorite author? And so forth and so on. So I also want to add, so I don't forget, the support that WNMU has given us has been great. We also have to say the town of Silver City itself has been very, very supportive of our mission. And that mission is to celebrate the written and now also the spoken word, which opens us up not only just to writing necessarily, but theater, music, etc. So stay tuned. Also, the New Mexico Humanities Council has been responsible for helping us move along and accomplish our mission as well. So,
well, congratulations on all of what we've covered here. I would really will give access to everybody your website and your contact information. And I just want to thank you so much for being a part of our writer's life. It's been a joy to speak to you today. And thanks also to everyone who's joined us. I'm Marvel Harrison, and from all of us at Mimbres Press, may your day be sparked with curiosity and wonder. Thank you, Ted, and see you all again on the next Writer's Life.
Thank you very much. Good to see you. Thank you.